Hello, everybody. Lucky for you guys, I'm not going to do my PSAs. I'm not going to put you through that. Everybody, I do apologize if you don't like those, but I feel it's necessary to do those, not only for people that are looking to where they can find me, but also too because I do a lot of research and sit into different comment boxes, listen to different podcasts, chat rooms, whatever, just so I can kind of hear the nonsense and kind of bring it back to you guys to help you guys be a little bit more comfortable in what to listen and watch for. So I won't do the PSAs because I'll just edit it, take it from the other one that I did and bring it on here. But everybody, I don't know if you're paying attention, but here we go. A lot is happening in just the last 55 minutes that we were on here. We've got stuff breaking out in Minnesota. Is this going to be the Summer of Love 2.0, George Floyd? Um, Again, 72 hours, everybody. It's already being debunked. The Democrats are trying to put it out or whatever, that left side or the evildoers, right? Making it look like as if the agents just shot this person, asking her to get out of the car for no reason. Well, she was being very defiant. You're seeing different videos. They're putting out the side video of where you can't see really the guy, the ICE agent in the front, where she literally almost took him out, and so that's when he shot her, and she went and ran into. Well, obviously she got injured, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if she died or what, but you guys, it was clearly self defense. But again, Trump has already addressed it. We need to just kind of wait and see. 72-hour rules, what I always do for myself before we kind of go out there and kind of try to figure out what's going on. But that side is already their story's already being debunked. You got Tim Walz over there running his mouth right now at a press conference. So pay attention to this, everybody. It is the same mayor, I do believe, that is still in power. That same mayor over there right now that was Summer of Love for George Floyd. So I do believe this could be Summer of Love 2.0. But again, the 72-hour rule, but also to everybody, Donald Trump, our president, talked about the Insurrection Act 72 hours ago. So is this go time? So Walz is saying, threatening Trump that he's going to bring in his National Guard. Okay, whatever. But remember, everybody, we've been told military is the only way. A lot of stuff is happening. So, wow, what a year to ring it in, man. Things are happening, guys. Get excited. And Dallas is here. So, Dallas, nice to see you. And I'm not doing my PSAs because I was an hour early. I came on to the show an hour ago, forgetting that you guys are only an hour ahead of me, not two. So I will just clip my PSAs from the last show and bring them on over to here. How are you, stranger? What is up?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you great. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm exhausted. I'm working like 4 full-time jobs now. But
What
no,
what
I'm
what do you mean for? Why?
full-time parent, full-time husband, doing still
Okay,
doing
I
the
gotcha.
podcasting stuff as much as I can, and then now I'm working from basically 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Fridays. I went back to selling risk products and stuff for right now. But taking a carving an hour out to jump back in with you and catch up with everybody. 'Cause it's been well over a month, I think, since our last call. So sorry I've
Yeah, it
been gone so long. It's
has.
been crazy busy.
No worries. Hey, first and foremost, family, always God, family first for sure. So we know you got to do what you got to do, but so a lot is happening. A lot of great stuff is happening. We see what's happening right now in Minnesota. But real quickly, before we get into all of that and what you may have to share with us, do you have an idea? Because you've been very missed, just so you know. So many people have reached out to me. When is Dallas coming back? So are we going to be still good for the every 2 weeks, right around this time for an hour? Or have you figured that out yet?
um, I don't know, honestly. It might need to move up a little bit. But I finally got contracted today, this morning. So it's kind of official as of I don't know, 10:45, 11 o'clock this morning with this company. Um, so I'll have more freedom. I've just got to get into I've been basically training, which is kind of ridiculous, but I've been training for the last 3 weeks. So I've really been at the beck and whim of, the guys that are running the training, right? But once I get in and get some sales under my belt and they see that I know what I'm doing and that I can run my own schedule, I should have way more freedom. But I think for right now, we just kind of hold tight and I'll do my best to make it work.
All right. Well, we're always in communication, so we'll figure it out. So everybody, Dallas is with us. We're just going to figure out what time and day works best for him, and we're going to make it happen because I know many of you, including myself, have missed Mr. Dallas. So Dallas, I know everybody, he typically gives us 90 minutes, but unfortunately today he's got an hour, and so I want to be very respectful of that. So if you guys have any questions for him, please let's get him in today because I just don't know when he'll be back, if it'll be in 2 weeks or a month. So please start raising your hands or write your questions underneath the comment box. And I'm going to have Dallas just kind of let us know what he is seeing right now, and then we're going to go on some questions. So the floor is the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, it's, the last time I was on with you, I was like, oh, we're right here. Money's moving, blah, blah, blah. It's still the same old, same old. The plan supposedly was for all of this to have been, at least moving by the end of the year, before the end of the year. The whole, everybody have a great Christmas. We've heard that now for, almost 10 years, 5 or 6 years for sure. But the word on the street is that the money's in the accounts. That has been a fact for a while. I mean, for quite a while, to be honest with you. But they wanted to wait for the first of the year to get a clean slate and have everything. They want to split the years, blah 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 blah. But this week was supposed to be a really big week, a pivotal week for money moving and actually being released. Mark Z is pretty excited, and I kind of use them as a barometer of what I can and can't share. Just because I don't want to be the first one. But if I'm not the first one, then I'm pretty safe. So I'm hearing very much similar to what Mark is hearing, that the sovereigns, the elders, the families, the governments are in position, if not already receiving liquidity. I am afraid that it means that Tier 4B isn't going to happen anytime soon. But that being relative, right? I mean, could it actually happen in 2 weeks? But maybe. But I'm thinking probably the end of the first quarter, end of February, March. Maybe probably is a better timeline for the general public and the Tier 4B. But hopefully money is moving. I'm still waiting on confirmation that it's been released and made liquid. As of last night, I had not heard anything. And, I asked to the point where people get really, really mad at me and they, they threaten me and things, just because I hold people's feet to the fire. But as of last night, I did not have any updates other than be patient. That's what I keep getting told. But that's kind of where we are.
Thank you, Dallas. All right, everybody. So let's go on some questions, you guys. I know you've got some questions for him. So here's one on the wall for you. It says, Happy New Year, Dallas. This is from Mari Love, USA. What do you think the Venezuela Bolivar's rate is? Or excuse me, will be? Are you there?
Yeah. What do I think the rate of the boulevard is going to be?
Yes.
One second.
And everybody here, come on, guys. Dallas is here. Don't be afraid. Ask your question. There's never a dumb question. And he hasn't been here for a month. So I find it hard to believe that none of you want to ask questions to Mr. Dallas. So if you don't get it in today, then yeah, like I said, I don't know when he'll be back, 2 weeks or a month. So raise your hand. or put your question in the comment box underneath this picture. Thanks, guys. Remember, we're here for you. We're doing this for you guys. Go ahead, Dallas.
Sorry, what's the rate of the Boulevard?
They want to know what do you think that, will be, what it will be.
I mean, other than I think it's way more of an option of it being, in the first round. I don't particularly, I have differing opinions on why we went to Venezuela, but I mean, I was told literally years ago from somebody inside of Venezuela that it was going to be 3 to 5, straight up, no adding, subtracting zeros, no this denomination or this year. It was just going to be face value, $3 to $5. And I've never talked to somebody from inside Venezuela since that's told me different. But last time I looked, I think it was 28 or 29 cents on the Forex. To be honest with you, that would be fantastic. But I think at a minimum we're talking about 30 or 40 cents, and a maximum several bucks. But I think, again, either one of them would be fantastic, considering how cheap the Bolivar is and was. It's at one point you could get a million Sabanero for 50 cents. So, but we just got to wait and see. I honestly, I don't know. I just know what I was told.
Well, I appreciate that. So since we're talking about Bolivar, this is Go North to Dakota. Regarding Bolivar, on the bills, if it says 200 mil, that means 200 mil. Same for 500 mil, means 500 mil. I have some Bolivar that says 1 million, million spelled out. Is that 1 million? That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, those are the Sabaneros. Those are the 1 millions. It's actually spelled slightly off, right? It's a million, as opposed to million.
Right.
But those are worth 1 million. The others are hundreds.
So 100 million or $100?
Yes.
Okay.
100 million.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. So those are the questions on the wall. So we've got a couple up front here. Come on, guys, raise your hands. He's here for you. We've got almost 200 participants. I know you got more questions than these four. So BL Patriot, go ahead. Your mic's unmuted. Go ahead, BL Patriot. You requested a mic. Your mic is unmuted. Okay. Cal, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Cal. Your mic is unmuted. Can you guys hear me? Dallas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Go ahead, Cal.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
I heard somebody say that the first people that will be paid is church groups. And then I'm not quite sure what you said, the T4B or whatever, that's to the general public, and the general public won't get paid until all of us at that point. So is that true?
Well, the church groups have contracts, and none of us do. So that's the church groups are in with kind of they're not first, but they're in with the CMKX and the other bigger groups. I don't exactly know when, we will have an opportunity to go to the Redemption Center. I just don't think it's anytime soon, meaning I don't think it's today. I don't think it's tomorrow. I don't think it's this week. I would be shocked if it's this month, because money hasn't moved at the top level yet, meaning that the sovereigns, the Chinese elders, the governments haven't gotten liquidated. They don't have liquid money. They have money in their accounts, but they can't do anything with it. They can't spend it. They can't pull it out. They can't give it to their uncle. And until that happens, nobody's getting paid on the 4B level, right? Nobody's walking into a bank, despite all of the stories. Now, I think some of the bank stories are true. I think the banks are starting to get wind of this, and they're starting to be notified, and they're starting to go, oh man, that crazy old man who's come in every other week and asked me about Bolivar or asked me about dinar, I need to start taking that guy serious, and I need to start having conversations with him. I think those stories are true, but to my knowledge, there's not a single person on this planet that has walked into a bank or a redemption center, turned in foreign currency, and walked out with money, unless it's an already legal currency like Vietnamese dong. But you're not walking out with millions. You're walking out with, the exchange rate this morning was 25,000 to 1 on the dong. So, you're walking out with $37 if you got $1 million. You're not walking out with, tens of millions. So, all the stories of people getting paid and having meetings. I mean, sure, are they having meetings? Probably, but they're not walking out with money. That I'm fairly certain of.
So would you say then that we have to be put back on the gold standard first before any of this happens?
Yeah, I've always said that one of the markers that I was told is that we are announced as a gold-backed currency, and that has never happened, despite people that want to read into what Trump says and gematria what he says. It hasn't been made public. We're not on a gold standard. Therefore, the RV can't take place.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cal. All right, Summer Johns, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, Dallas. I have a question about silver. I've been told that once we go in the gold standard, that silver will be worth a low amount of money instead of going up and up and up. Is silver going to go up continuously, no matter gold standard or not, or what?
Well, it's going to go up because the gold standard doesn't mean just gold. I mean, it's precious metal, or asset backed is a better description, because our currency is going to be backed up by gold and silver. So silver is a finite resource. We use it, and we use it in ways that depletes it, meaning you can't reuse it. So I personally think that silver is going to probably one day surpass gold in value, but no, when it gets announced that we are asset backed, meaning that our currency is backed up by assets, primarily gold and silver, gold and silver should explode in price. I mean, we've seen a very healthy jump in silver and gold, but more so in silver, right? As far as something that we can measure and kind of track in the last 2 weeks. They tried to suppress it, which actually caused the collapse of a bank. They won't announce it for some reason because they know that, well, they're afraid that it will cause massive bank runs and then more banks will go insolvent. But we're being pushed into a corner, and it's, for the life of me, I mean, I've been answering these questions, and I don't mean this to be like, this isn't me being like, oh man, I hate answering these questions. I love answering the questions, but I've been answering these questions and doing this for years now. And there was a much easier way for all of this to have taken place. And for whatever reason, way beyond my pay grade and way above my rational skills, the powers that be chose to do this the absolute hardest way possible, including the RV. But we're being forced into a situation where it's going to have to happen. Or we're going to, like, if we thought the inflation in Venezuela was crazy, it is nothing to what's about to happen to the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is effectively worth 3 cents now. So it's lost 97% of its value since the Federal Reserve and the fiat dollar, the fiat currency, was put into place. That's crazy, right? I mean, it's the next step is negative, right? So inflation is higher than it's ever been for us. And it's because our dollar is worth nothing, because it's not backed up by anything. They keep printing more. and more of it. And we keep giving away more and more and more. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've given away, I don't know, some odd $trillion to different countries, and then all the fraud that we're finding in our own government and our state governments. So we're being forced into a change of the currency situation, and it's the most painful way to do it. But the good news is we're getting there. If that's good news.
How much longer before we get to gold backed or asset backed?
Man, if I had the answer to that, I'd be a gajillionaire. It was supposed to have gone before Christmas. I mean, that was a huge push that I was being told, is that, before Christmas. Well, obviously Christmas came and went, so did New Year's. I'm being told that this is a pivotal week, but so far I have not heard or seen what I'm expecting to hear and see. But it could happen in the blink of an eye. It could happen in the middle of the night. But I think silver hits over $100 by the end of this month, and if that happens, then every bank on the planet's going to be SOL, if you get my drift, because they have been suppressing the price of silver specifically by paper shorts for 100 years, and they're all losing everything because they can no longer manipulate it, and the Chinese markets and the Asian markets are clamping down on their reserves that they have. So it's gonna our financial system is about to break. How it's limped along this long is beyond me, but I do think we're close to it being forced.
When do you think silver will double versus XRP doubling?
Well, silver has already doubled. I mean, 2 years
Again,
ago, you could have bought
again, like the 160.
So Summer,
It's
you're asking Dallas some questions that, these are his opinions. He doesn't know. So it's kind of hard for him to give you a pinpointed answer. I think what we need to look at is the markets. The markets are moving, and the silver has doubled. I mean, it's probably even more than doubled. But I just say, those are pretty direct questions, and we're not financial advisors. We can't tell you an exact day or anything like that. But just keep watching it. And, this is what I always tell everybody, because I kind of hear in some people's voices, the couple of the questions that we've had and reading some on the wall, you might be feeling a little disappointed about maybe what Dallas is telling you. But again, he's just giving you his best knowledge that he knows. And, we've just got to be patient. I guess we're closer today than we were yesterday. And, my thought process has always been it's never been a money factor for me. So if it happens, great, it's cherry on the top. But if this blessing doesn't happen, I still have to go to work tomorrow. And I know a lot of people are relying on this, but there's nobody truly knows exactly when this is going to happen. So people out there giving you exact dates, which Dallas never does. That's one those are things that I would not write on at all. Never write on a date. And I'm not saying you are, Summer Johns. I'm just saying a lot of people have, and it's kind of terrifying. People put out those dates and they're real confident about it, and then it comes and goes, and then it gets people's hopes up to bring them down. So I would just say, we're in a much better situation today than we were when it comes to like silver and seeing our market maybe crash or do whatever it's going to do than we were yesterday, the day before, and the day before. So hang in there, Summer.
I really wasn't asking a date question. I was asking which he thinks is going to go up double next. Would it be XRP as a better investment or silver? I'm not a date person.
Oh.
That was not
Okay. Well, so your question, I didn't get that. You asked when he thought silver would double again. I didn't hear anything about XRP or any of that. So that's why I said what I said.
I didn't get a chance to add that because I was stopped.
No, you had taken a breath. So anyway, go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, I didn't understand the question either, so I apologize. Yeah, honestly, they're tied together, right? I mean, when the new system is announced, XRP, to my knowledge, will be the mechanism that everyone uses, probably in the entire world, to transfer money from one account type to another account type. And again, I'm not the crypto guy, right? But I've read several articles in the last couple of weeks about how the XRP that we see is not even all of the XRP. There's, just like in the real financial world, the real Wall Street, there's what's called institutional trading and investing, and there's what's called retail or commercial trading. All of us in the investment world only make trades in the retail or the kind of public space. We do not have access to what's called institutional trades in the XRP market. Banks in particular, banks and financial institutions, supposedly are buying XRP in the millions of tokens, right? You and I buy a couple, maybe 5, 10, maybe 100 at a time. Banks and financial institutions are buying XRP in the millions. But that is all being done on the institutional side, which doesn't show up on our side until at what point they want to flip the switch and they want to announce that now XRP's volume is 5 or 10 or 100 times what we all thought it was, and then XRP will explode. But again, XRP is going to be the mechanism that we use to transfer proceeds, money from one to another. But silver, when we go asset backed, silver is going to be right there, right? I mean, I don't have a date on when it doubles, but if we get to 100 by this month, the next stop in my mind is 500 for silver, and I don't think it takes very long. I think by the middle of the year, we could easily see silver at $500 an ounce at a minimum. So they're not exclusive; they're tied together in my mind. To answer your question.
Thank you, Dallas. And also, too, everybody, I will be having Troy Lett on. He's the crypto guy, and then we'll have Rob Cunningham on as well, so he can kind of tie in everything that Dallas is saying to help you guys understand a little bit more on the crypto world. And yes, what Dallas is saying about things are going to be more peer-to-peer. Dallas, he and I can make the transaction with the smart contracts instead of having the middle person. So thank you for that, Dallas. All right, Granny USA, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hi, Dallas. Hi, Jenny. My question is, Dallas, has the Iraqi dinar repriced or whatever they do?
Not publicly.
Huh?
Not publicly.
Not publicly?
Yeah. I mean, I read an article last night that Iraq is very much looking to Wednesday of this week, today. But they're also 7 hours ahead of us, and I didn't read anything. I have not read anything about any announcement in the Gazette. So my take is Iraq still hasn't gone. So do they go on Saturday? I don't know, but to my knowledge, they have not revalued in country or publicly, even though people say they have.
Yeah. Are they waiting for oil from Venezuela, do you think?
They're not. No, they're waiting on the United States to get their head out of their butt. Ultimately is what they're waiting on. Because the United States is what's holding this up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Granny.
Maybe if they ever redo it, maybe they could get it going. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Granny. All right, I'm going to read a couple questions here for you on the wall here. Going to go back and forth a little bit. All right. I'm going to say this since we're talking about Christmas, comes and goes. It seems like all the years, Merry Christmas. Kelly Heatwolf says, maybe it's Christmas on the Julian calendar, which is today. Still some hours left on the day. Only God knows. All right. Thank you for that, Kelly. All right.
Yep.
I love the positivity. Sophia asks, do active duty military get higher rates than us? Apparently a Marine exchange exchanged, and he got double digits for his Bolivar. I saw it on several channels a few days ago. Thanks, Jenny in Dallas. Do you know anything about that, Dallas?
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard that, right? That same story. The problem is nobody can verify who it is, and nobody's seen the money, right? Was that Marine in Venezuela? If you're in Venezuela, I don't think you're getting double digits for it's in Venezuela, because the Forex says 29 cents. But if you're in Venezuela and you had Bolivar, you could turn it in and walk away with, pretty good chunk, right? Because you got a basket, you got a bag full of $1 million Sabaneros at 29 cents a piece per Sabanero, not per bill, per the million. 29 cents, that's a good payout, right? I mean, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're active military, I don't think you automatically get a higher rate. I did hear early this week that they were doing some test. All of a sudden I got the hiccups. They were doing some test exchanges, and they used a select group of military men and women to do it, to kind of run through the process. But that's the extent. I mean, they're not going to get more than us. If we go to a redemption center, if you go to the bank, you're going to get the street rate, which is going to be the base bottom rate, whatever that is. But I do believe redemption centers are real. And I do believe that we'll get a better rate at the redemption center, as opposed to just walking into a random bank like so many people say. Again, in this world of RV, or dinar land, as some people like to call it, that lots of people claim to be experts and have the only, true, clean intel, or however you want to phrase it. I know that what I said earlier is kind of a downer, but I'm so frustrated at listening to other people make claims that are completely unprovable and unfounded, because it sounds fun, right? I wish I could come and say that it's going to be tomorrow, but what I know to be true means that is literally impossible. There's no way that timeline happens, because we've been waiting literally months, if not almost an entire year, but at the very least 6 months, for the very first person to actually get money released to them that they could touch and that they could feel and they could do something with. And until that person gets money, nobody else below the system gets money. And I listen to everybody, and I listen to all these guys and gals, say that they and I'm not dogging any kind of system, right? Because God talks to me, and maybe that's an alien, I don't know, but they get these downloads, and they talk to so and so, and in this the astral plane, and they get all this information, and none of it is provable. None of how do I know what somebody's some dream somebody had? But I know that it sounds negative, but it really isn't, other than it's not today. But when the money physically starts moving, that is going to be a great day. I just don't know what it means for timing, because it's taken this long to get, and to my knowledge, it still hasn't happened, but hopefully this week is the week where that money gets released. How long does it take to get down to our level? I don't know, because it's taken a freaking stinking long time to get, to release, because they do tests, they release a little bit of money and somebody tries to steal it. And that's been going on for the better part of a year that I personally know of.
So Dallas, first of all, never apologize for being honest and transparent and not being a date fagger, okay? Because that's what it's called. People out there giving dates and they're giving dates and they talk about it so confidently, like, yeah, for sure it's going to happen tomorrow. It's always an epic fail. We should all know by now, dates are an epic fail. I learned a long time ago, never give dates. So never apologize for your transparency and your honesty. I appreciate it. I don't want somebody coming on my show and giving for sure dates as if they know 100% it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen because that's just not reality. So I appreciate your honesty and your transparency. So keep being you. I love it. And yeah, it'll happen when it happens. And this isn't, sad. I mean, maybe to some people it's sad news, but at the end of the day, it's reality, right? I mean, we want to be as real with you guys as possible because if we're going to sit here and give you dates and we're speaking as it's going to for sure happen and it doesn't happen, then guess what? We look like assholes. Oh, well, Dallas said this date and it never happened, or yeah. See, that's why we keep it very transparent and yeah, we can't do that, guys. So never apologize for that, Dallas. I appreciate how you handle things.
Thanks.
Okay.
And I just, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well, I just, I have heard all those dates for all these years. and now I have a slightly different source of information. And I just, and I kind of know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and what I don't know is that it's going to happen on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, right? But I do believe that we're close. To your point, we're closer now than we've ever been. And I've been on the roller coaster with everybody else. I mean, that's why I went and I had to go back to full-time work, and my hours are terrible, right? I mean, it stinks, but I got to make money because my family depends on me to at least keep up my half of the bills, and I get really, really frustrated. Or I just get sad, really. I'm not even frustrated. I just get sad when I hear different people out there make these claims, because to my knowledge, there's no way they can be true. But I want facts. I want things that I can touch and that I can feel and that I can read and I can see, and so that's where I'm coming from. I'm trying to be as bluntly honest as possible without being mean or rude or cruel.
You're doing great.
I know that it's hurt me having these expectations, because I get fed them too, guys. I was told I was going to have spendable cash to do some travel stuff before Christmas. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. I still don't have any money. It's like I get told these kind of playful dates too, and then they come and they go, they come and they go. And then the answer that I get is, well, there was a delay. Money moved and then somebody stole it and we had to shrink it back and we had to reset the system. So I'm not going to come out here and tell you guys that it's going to be this weekend, because it's not. And I don't want you to not pay your bill or to go buy Boulevard, go buy silver because you think you're going to have money. That's what happened this Christmas. People went and spent money that they didn't have because in one particular, segment of this thing, they thought they were going to get some spending money for Christmas. And now their families are worse off today than they were before Christmas because they spent money they didn't have because they were hoping on some dates. And that's a really, really bad, dangerous way to live. And I am guilty. And I just want to be even if I have to be the bad guy, and I guarantee you there's some people on the call that are pissed off or that got off the call after some of the stuff I've said. But I'm just telling you, I'm the only one that's telling you the truth as far as timing goes. I don't want to say that, but I'm one of the few that will tell the truth. I'm not the only one, but I'm one of the few.
And I appreciate that. And that's what we're here for, right? We're here for the truth. We're not here for bullshit. There's enough of that bullshit out there and surface. Yeah, we don't need that. So thank you for that, Dallas. I appreciate it. And you're doing fine. People are still coming into the chat, so no worries. Here's one from Beachy Forever. We are hearing the Venezuela digitalities may not be exchanged. What are you hearing? Thank you for all you both do.
Why? What's the rationale? Right? Is it a currency that Venezuela, the country, authorized and put out? Well, then it's going to be exchanged. You know, the digitalities are brand new. They're the newest version of their currency. But some jackass out there is going to tell you that they're not going to exchange it. Well, why? What is the rationale? And what logic does that make? You know, and I don't mean to be rude to the person that asked the question, because I understand where the question came from, but we've got to, you know, I'll use an old one for you, an old analogy. If you have more than 2 Zims, you got to buy this specific trust that only I sell and my team sells. And if you got 10, you got to buy 8 trusts, because you can only put 2 in each trust. And each trust is only on $199.99. And for this very cheap price, you can get 8 trusts. You know, like what did they say right after they said that the digitalities weren't gonna go? That's how people have gotten, you know, railroaded and have gotten literally stolen from in this community. Is these people say something really shocking or completely irrational, but we're all so, I don't want to say worried, because that's not even the right word. Like, my family needs money. You know, like we need money to pay bills. We got to work.
Hence why you went back to work.
Yes. Because,
I want to say something real quickly to those trust things. I have been told by many people, friends of mine, that, you know, do those trust, not in this community, but just in general, right? Those people out there that are selling you those trusts, you don't need them. And Dallas has said this to you many times, and they are nothing but a scam for your money. And for those of you that have done them, I am sorry that was you, but I'm going to say now, from here on out, be careful, because like Dallas has said, for a long time, you don't need those. And I am getting from friends of mine that work in this world, it's nothing but fraud.
Yeah. And if you, yes, 100%. And I have said that from the very beginning. You do not need a trust to do this. Would a trust be good after the fact? Sure. Right. Unless we change, you know, political systems, but a really good trust is going to cost you several $1,000s, right? To have the right verbiage and all of the bells and whistles, and have the beneficiary and the secondary beneficiary and the the quad beneficiary, in case the whole family's together and they all die at one time. It's going to cost you $5,000 to $10,000, probably at a minimum, right? I've seen trusts that were as much as $15,000 or $20,000. They're very extensive, and they're very, I don't even know what the word is. They're just, they cost $20,000, right? If you're getting a trust for under $500 and you're paying for it and you're not doing it yourself, because you can go on LegalZoom.com and do a skeleton trust you might have to buy the rights to the document, right? Which would be $50 maybe, right? But I was just using that as an example of they make these irrational, outlandish claims, and then typically they throw a sales pitch right after it, right? Why? It doesn't even rationally make sense. The newest currency in that country, which is the digitalities, somebody now is claiming they're not going to revalue them. Like, it doesn't. How? I mean, what are all the people? Because you know what the people aren't carrying around with them? The 2015 Sabaneros. You know what I mean? Like, the money they have is the newest version, so it doesn't even rationally make sense. And it just it makes me mad that people say that stuff out there, because how do you rationalize that? So sorry.
Exactly. No, you're good. People in chat are saying they feel your frustration. They appreciate your honesty and transparency. They don't like it when people put out false hope. So the chat is agreeing. You know that they're right there with you. So never apologize, my friend. Okay, we're gonna go here to the front. God wins. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I love you both so much. And thank you that you make it possible for us to come on and chat like this and ask questions.
Of
Dallas,
course.
I heard a recording before I got on today to this of Mark Z. Did you hear Mark Z this morning?
I did not
Because
hear it, but I've read some of the clips, and he was very excited.
yeah, he had said something about the Indian groups are getting paid today, and that we would be after that.
Well, that is the hope, right? That's kind of what I said, that the sovereign groups, which the Indian group is a part of the sovereign, any indigenous group in the world has a connection to this revaluation, right? The global currency reset. So they're part of the sovereign groups, which is something that I'm waiting on. I have not gotten confirmation that money has been made liquid, but this was supposed to be the week. So I am hoping that what Mark is seeing and hearing is I will get a confirmation of in the next day or so, because that's exactly what I've been looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, God wins. All right, I'm going to read one here for you on the wall. It says Dallas. This is from ME. There are postings stating that part of the removal of Maduro was also a very large amount of silver and oil, which part went to Iraq to help them during their RV process and provide assurances considering what had been done to them in the past. I don't know that this is true. Have you heard anything about this? And what would that mean to the price of silver / RV date? Again, no dates here. We don't know, but to the price of silver.
Yeah, I mean, again, I use my rational brain in what obviously is an irrational problem, right? What is Iraq's number one export? Oil. Why, why do they need oil from another country to, you know what I mean? Like, other than the fact that they've been losing literally hundreds of millions of dollars a day because they haven't RV'd, they haven't revalued their currency, in the oil that they're exporting. So sending oil to them doesn't make sense. Silver, maybe, but I was told the silver that we took from Venezuela went to bail out JP Morgan Chase because they were the number 2 bank that was about to be liquidated and forced out of business because of their silver shorts. To my knowledge, and again, my knowledge is a little bit limited in this specific direction, but to my knowledge, what happened in Venezuela has nothing to do with Iraq. If anything, it might have given the United States enough liquidity to make the shift that Iraq is waiting on to validate them changing their currency. That's that. If there's a silver lining in this, pun slightly intended, I think it's to infuse liquidity into the United States, so the United States can make the transition, then thus giving Iraq the confidence to pull the trigger on their RV, is what I think is happening. But I don't see the reason to send oil to Iraq because that's their number one export, and they're pulling it out of the ground faster than we can buy it. So,
thank you, Dallas. All right, Rick B, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rick B. You requested a mic. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Rick B from Oklahoma. Hello. All right, we're moving on. Grandmother of 5, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Grandmother of 5, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
oh, I heard something.
We heard you cut out. You may have to go out and come back in. Try again, Grandmother of 5. Okay. All right. So, all right. Anything else you want to share, my friend Dallas?
No, I just, it's funny. I like that you hold my feet to the fire on the apology thing, because I'm not apologizing because I feel bad, right? I'm apologizing because I know that I'm bringing information that is very downtrodden to the general, right? The general public. I don't mean the general public like the normies. I mean the general population of this movement, right? The truther RV world. And I feel bad, right? I feel bad for them, but also the reason that I'm so bluntly honest is because I get run through the ringer personally. like me myself get told things that I'm like, oh, I'm excited about that, and then it doesn't happen. And I'm trying to set my own barometer, right, of excitement. But I am excited. I am very excited about this week. And I said it right out the gate. I use Mark Z as a barometer a lot for what I can share, because sometimes I get told things that I'm not, until it gets made public, it's not my place to share it. And I'm not going to pull the NDA card and that garbage, because I think that's more of a clickbait thing than anything else. Because there are lots of people that have claimed to be under an NDA and they can't talk, and then, well, nothing happens for a week, and all of a sudden they're back talking, right? Or the date they say comes and goes, and all of a sudden they can talk again, right? That's not how NDAs work either. But I am excited. I'm excited to see some major things happening. Why did we go to Venezuela? I don't know, right? It obviously wasn't for the indictment, because they've dropped all the charges except for a cocaine charge and a gun charge, which the gun's not illegal in his country. They're using a gun law from the United States to charge a foreign dictator or foreign leader. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's not going to stand up in court. But I do think that it is triggering other things, right? And what I hope more than anything is that it triggers accountability and disclosure. Everybody's talking about the Dominion voting machines that were created and manufactured in Venezuela to overthrow that government first. They were created to overthrow the Venezuelan government 20 years ago. He has, a General Flynn reference, right? Maduro has the bodies, right? He knows where the bodies are buried because he has most of them in his country as far as digital footprints.
Well, and
so he's striking it.
And if you look at no, you're good. If you look at a lot of things that are coming out, I mean, they're starting to show this stuff. And Trump did come out and say a couple days ago, nothing can happen here until Venezuela is fixed when it comes to the voting. 2020 isn't over yet. So, and he has said that. So I think we need to kind of pay attention to that. Okay, so Grandmother 5 is back, and then Ellen, because I know you probably have to go. Grandmother,
I've got to go in the next couple of minutes, but we'll do the last two.
Okay, Grandmother 5, go ahead, try again. Go ahead, Grandmother 5. Okay, go ahead, Ellen. Your mic is unmuted.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. I just want to ask anybody that knows. There's a thing going on that Brad Barton and Phil Gawlowski, Phil G, whatever his name is in. Yeah. Well, anyways, they got this thing running on Facebook where Brad's in with these guys that are selling this Jiggle music app thing, and they're sharing founder packets and tokens. And these guys, I looked up their terms and conditions. They're legal in their country of Dubai, wherever that's at over there. But anyways, they're not registered in the United States to sell. If you if you invest, like say 5,000, you get one share in their app. Then you got to buy tokens, and then you got to use tokens to use the app. And I'm telling you what, I think it's the biggest scam. And you wouldn't believe they're showing charts. And how can you? I try to turn them in on Facebook, but you know what that is. You know what I mean? But I never heard anything about they say it's coming to the United States. Well, I said I don't even think it's the guy's got a mugshot where he was arrested for scamming before, the guy that's running it. he's got a mugshot for being arrested for fraud. And he in the sports token crypto, and you got to
Yeah.
buy all this in crypto. They want you to change your money into crypto. But anyways, I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
that's a red flag to me right there.
I just want to let
Yeah.
you
I
all
mean,
know that I just want to let people know because you wouldn't believe the people that's getting on it. There's some people that they said they sent their money, but they can't see it, and they're going to go put more money in it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, I said, just stand at the door and hit that. And you know what? They made a Facebook page to go there and get helpers. And I just play the game. I want to see what it's like. So I got the text, okay? I'm no stupid. I'm not investing no money through Facebook. I'll go to a broker. You know, I'm not stupid. I'm a 70-year-old woman that's got some common sense. But anyways,
Amen.
I wanted the text to see what it said, and I could tell you these are AI text or bots or whatever answering you because I asked them I wanted to see their license where they're licensed and registered in the United States to sell. That's illegal. They're not.
Good
They got a
girl.
they got a
You
number they got a number in their terms of condition that they're licensed in their country. Well, Brad Barton went to meet him, and you know what they did? They wanted to meet him in Panama, in the Caribbean. So he
Yeah.
flew to Panama. So they're not doing nothing illegal in their state, their country. You know what I'm saying? They went to
Yeah.
Panama to do it. So they
Yeah.
ain't gonna get caught. See, that makes them. Now, if they've done that and took them, brought them in there to where they live, then they might get them. You know what I mean, for something. But if they took and went to Panama, I don't know where.
Yeah.
I don't know if Panama's close to where they live or not. But it took that one guy 50 hours to get there. And I said, well, that's because he has a fraud. They probably detained him at the airport for a while to make sure he wasn't had anything to be locked up again for.
No, I appreciate you doing the work. I saw the release of that, like most everybody else did, and I for one am not taking part in it. I haven't, I try really hard not to directly bash anybody. I know Brad. I've met Brad. I have lots of common acquaintances throughout this movement.
Yeah.
I think he's trying hard, but I would not jump into this one particularly. But it's AI music is what it is. It's an AI digital music platform that's being tokenized. Everything is going to go to tokenization eventually. Everything, including our U.S. debt.
But
But
the guy sounded in the United States and he's not even licensed. And you know what I
right.
mean? Why would you put your money in it until he's up and running in the United States, then invest in it? I mean, what's these people? You're going to invest in something he's not even got it up and off the ground in the United States. I don't know.
Well, I'll give you something to make your head spin. Do you know where the Federal Reserve is headquartered and registered?
Probably in Dubai.
Puerto Rico.
Well,
Do you know where the IRS is headquartered and registered?
oh,
Puerto
probably
Rico.
yeah, probably.
Right.
Well,
So the two places that we give all of our money to are not registered they're not legal United States businesses or entities. So this fraud, it's not a new fraud, right? It is fraud, but it's not new. So hopefully this new system is going to put the kibosh on those things.
right.
I saw the initial investment. It was like $1,500, and I was like, I don't got $15
Well,
to put into an investment, let alone $1,500. So I would steer clear. But I appreciate you
oh,
sharing
I'm
that
not doing
and
it.
doing that homework.
I'm not doing it. I just wanted to warn people because I've watched Phil and I've watched Brad, and I've watched Brad, and he was in another thing, and he made it like it was. He comes on there, oh, it's a big deal. You got to get in now before this date and that, and then he send me an email, and I'll send you the stuff, and he gives you enough just to make people want to bite it, and then boom, you look at it, and then if you want to watch it, get on the thing. You got to pay $100 for the Zoom call.
Yep.
That's an old scam. You know what I mean? I can smell BS a mile long. I'm just older.
Yep.
I don't, like I said,
The
I'm
only
not.
ones that make money are the ones that create those things, and it's
Yeah,
not you and I.
I
thank
guarantee
But
you,
you.
Ellen. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
yeah,
bringing that
thank you
to our
so much.
attention. Thank
I
you.
got runs. I got to get on a Zoom for work, but it's been such a pleasure and an honor to be back with you, Jenny. And be back with everybody. I'm sorry they had to cut it short. Let me get my feet wet and figure out what this is going to really look like and how much flexibility I really have. And then we'll be in touch between now and 2 weeks from now. Okay.
Sounds good, sweetie. Have a great day. God bless you and your family, and we'll talk soon. God bless everybody. Captain Kyle's show has been rescheduled to the 21st from tonight. He got called into work, everybody. So we'll see you tomorrow here for Rick Anson with Brain IQ, all natural health supplements, talking about some great things that are happening in his world with these all natural peptides and his all natural supplements. So with that, everybody, we'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.